mature than this. That's
Well, there may very well be, Scott. I can't honestly say that I found it. We did some internet searches. We tried to, go. The difference is New York State is so different in terms of how it approaches development, in terms of its permitting, in terms of its everything that it does. It's so very different than the rest of the states. It's very difficult for us to compare apples and apples when you get to Texas, where they just treat you with open arms. Even California is a whole lot easier to do. So it's a little hard for us to compare those apples and apples.
That's almost true.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a question on the job creation. Most pilots are enacted, as Mr. Gray pointed out, to create jobs in the area. The 24 permanent full-time jobs that are been determined, created for this project, what is the breakdown of those jobs? Or maybe your colleague can answer that at a later time. But I did speak with our neighbors to the north this morning, the Wolf Island project. And I spoke with one of their administrators, Trudy DeRoter, from Trans Alta. They, of course, run the Wolf Island project. And I asked her, how many full-time members do you have to operate that 86 turbine facility? And they have only eight full-time people to run that facility. 6 techs, 1 supervisor, and 1 administrator. And she gave me an interesting breakdown on how that system is maintained. They use the SCADA system, which some of us have heard of. It's used in municipalities to run water, sewer plants, computer monitoring of mechanical pumps, valves. So they use that system to efficiently operate the system, less employees. And they have preventive maintenance on each turbine once a year. Well, anyway, long and short of it, they use 8 people to operate the Wolf Island 86 turbine farm. So I'd like to hear more on the creation of 24 permanent full-time jobs, whether there's any guarantees in the verbiage for the pilot. It could be an important component of this.
It is obviously a very important component to the idea. It's jobs and capital investment that we seek to try to provide the community when we go after these with the pilot. I think Bob can speak to this a little bit better in terms of the actual 24, how they break out and so on. You might use an example what goes on in Lewis County with their wind farm. They went in with a modest job number, and they're well above that at the moment. They're finding that the maintenance issues are greater than I guess maybe you expected or whatever the case. Anyway, the numbers are, I thought the 24 number was fairly conservative, but we'll let Bob tackle that when he's in a better position to know how those break down. Very specialized jobs here. I mean, we're talking about some specialties sitting here in the audience. There's some other specialties that laying underwater cable, for example, may not necessarily be in Northern New York. But our bid is to try to make sure that as many of these guys carrying the lunch buckets behind us are employed in this project for however long it takes. And I just think it's a valuable exercise.
If I may, to dovetail with that conversation, the actual construction project, because public funds are being used, and I'm assuming that Davis Bacon Act applies, will this be New York Prevailing Wage Act projects, therefore?
It does. They will be receiving a federal grant, and as such, they will be required to use Davis Bacon and prevailing wage. So we'll be employing many of these people that we hope who are sitting behind us tonight, and many others who will be out on the islands building